James, what's the goodbye guild message gonna say? Have you written it? What are you writing?
Fellow peasants, we are kicking a couple of slackers, but fret not. If you provide for the collective, you will be spared.
For the record, Gunnar has not provided, so I hope nobody notices.
I can't kick him because you made him like a guild leader. So.
Hello and welcome back to the Sidescape Gaming Podcast, episode 154. My name is Jake Burke, and I'm joined, as always, by James St. Charles and the guild master himself, Ted Libby. How you guys doing? I mean, we know how James is doing.
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
James is doing great. James is kicking the underlings.
I'm kicking ass.
Yeah, he's done with this shit.
He's kicking the underperformers.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I love that he's settling into a middle management position in this mobile game guild that we have going on.
Seems like he was kind of made for that role in this, like, the management of other people's time.
I love it.
We had a great season 1. We got all of our rewards.
Oh yeah.
With a couple days to spare.
James, I just want to know, what's the highlight reward that you got? Like, what was your favorite reward from the last season of Warcraft?
My favorite reward for the last season, there was 3. You got a hero, little mini. It was Sylvanas, and the second one was a Murloc emote. Mm-hmm. Cool. And that was the best one.
I'm surprised, James, you didn't pick the third and most expensive reward.
The epic.
The blue ball that certainly does something.
Very cool.
The blue ball.
Very cool.
Yeah, you got the blue
ball?
orb. You got a blue orb.
But enough about Warcraft Rumble, because this is the 154th episode of the Sidescape Gaming Podcast, where once a week we Discord over 500 miles, talk about a gaming-related topic and what games we are playing. This week we're going to talk about the Game Awards, because they happened. Jeff Keighley's Game Awards, Spike's VGAs as they used to be. Ted, who was your favorite Spike's VGAs video game host?
Never watched it.
Wow, okay.
Never watched it. I've only ever heard stories.
Wow.
I just know Jeff Keighley.
Just the legends.
Yeah, I guess Joe Rogan?
I think he did host it once.
I bet he was a host.
Yeah. Zachary Levi of Chuck fame and Shazam fame. He hosted it like multiple times.
Video Game High School fame?
Yeah, fuck. Ooh, yeah, he was in Video Game High School.
Yeah, he was.
James, that was the greatest summer of my entire life. I was 22 years old.
You were in Video Game High School? And
I would come home from work. Eric would come home from work at 11:30 at night. And then we would just watch 4 episodes of Video Game High School, the 3 of us.
How old were you?
22 years old.
Yeah, this was like the first year.
This was the first year I lived with Ted and Eric. Never watched Video Game High School before. It was beautiful.
That's so good.
Was that 8 years ago?
Oh, okay. Yeah. You didn't have to put a label on it.
That was 8 years ago. I lived with Ted 8 years ago.
Oh,
damn it.
All right, you guys watched this Video Game Awards? I actually know that James did.
Yeah.
But
I watched some highlights.
Yeah.
I was mostly concerned with our predictions because I'm competitive.
Sure. We'll get to those in a little bit. James, you watched the whole thing.
Yeah.
All 4.5 hours? 4 hours?
Yeah. I came home from work a little late, but then I had to go back and watch the beginning.
Yeah.
For what I missed. But yeah, I watched most of it.
What'd you think? What'd you think of the overall production of it? And then
so what the Game Awards has come to be is sort of a glorification of or a celebration of trailers, announcements, developers, like the classic stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they got celebrities, that come in and announce stuff. So it's sort of like the Oscars, I'd say, but kind of feels out of place. Unless they're like a celebrity that plays video games. Like
the Oscars are about celebrities. This just has celebrity guests.
It would be better.
Very different.
Very
I like when you have celebrities who are like in games, or like in the games that are like there.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense when you have some random person that's big in movies but like doesn't really belong there.
Like Timothy Chalamet at the end was kind of.
He
he probably plays games because he's a younger guy, but it was kind of awkward.
Yeah, I mean we don't know, but definitely. It wasn't the previous winner as it has been in years past, so that kind of sucks. But
yeah.
Oh well. Yeah, but in general, I thought it was enjoyable. I know some people were like mad that people didn't have enough time to say thanks for the award. But you know what? It's a game award show.
The Oscars have been dealing with that for years.
Yeah.
It's
not new.
It's just the problem with award shows is that nobody actually wants to see people talk about getting an award.
I don't want to see that. I want to see the next trailer, the next global release. So.
Right. So, Ted, what did you see of it? That you
just highlights, just like the sizzle reel of and the winner goes to so and so.
Yeah.
Presentation wise though, I thought it thought it was fine.
Mm-hmm.
We're still living in an age where like Jeff Keighley and production are trying to like sell video games to the rest of the world who
Yeah.
doesn't give a shit. I don't know if that makes sense, but like there is a lot of like, and we have production value.
It's like
Pay attention to us.
It feels like it's trying really, really hard to like legitimize itself while it's happening, and that to me feels really phony sometimes, in my opinion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it ebbs and flows over the years. Yes.
Yeah. Like they didn't have like a rock band this time, right? Like because they've had like Green Day in the past, and that's been super awkward.
Yeah.
Like they had something.
Yeah,
from
at least
a
they
game.
didn't have that. Yeah, that's what I like. So
yeah,
that
the Alan
they
Wake
did have like
performance.
game. They always have the orchestra that does the game music, which is awesome. And they had the flute guy, who's like the #1 flute guy, played with Hans Zimmer and all that. It's awesome.
Yeah, the flute guy was rocking it. That was the part I watched. I watched like the last like 40 minutes of the show with James.
He had a contra bass flute, and the thing was like ginormous.
It was massive. Ted, watch the orchestra presentation. That's always a highlight.
Contra, Konami's Contra?
It looked like an oboe, but it was huge. Like it was a flute.
Oh, Contra's the instrument. Okay.
Yeah, contra
Yeah,
bass.
yeah, not.
I thought like
Konami's
he had Contra the video game. I was like,
No,
damn,
It would fit though.
sick.
It would-
Yeah.
it would
Dude,
fit.
That'd be-
badass.
You know, that's the problem with instruments. You know, they don't have like decals. Like you can't get like a little nice like skin wrap.
Guitar
on it.
Hero controller, man. Perfect instrument.
You can throw a
See,
little,
guitars, they
little
all
sticker
have
on
that.
stuff. Come on, man.
Yeah, all the violins look the same. All the flutes look
That's
the
true.
same.
That's true.
Anyways.
No one's slapping up decals in their violins. Nobody's putting
Yeah.
flames
Not
in their
enough
violins.
skins.
That's an untapped
James wants
market.
skins
That
for
is
his
an untapped
orchestral instruments.
I think orchestrals are kind of supposed to be classier than flames or
Not according to Jeff
Flames on
Keighley.
my flute. I want my flute to like spit out flames when I'm playing.
Yeah, I like it. So the Game Awards, they announce a lot of things. So do we want to go through the announcements first or the awards first? What do you guys
Let's
want
do
to
it. Let's do announcements first.
That's okay. That's kind of what I'm start. Because that's really what this is. This is another funnel to announce things in the winter.
Which is good.
It is good. I feel like
Mid-year.
the weird weight of these announcements is always kind of odd because you never have anything really major from the big three. So it always is like kind of interesting little announcements. So we'll go through them. If any of these kind of pop for you, let's talk about it. If not, just it was announced. Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons, Joseph Ferris's old game, is getting a remake coming out in February. So
Love that.
love it. Sure, I'm excited. I want to play this game, and now I get to
Me
play
too.
it remade. So
Could you not play it before? What does remake mean?
they're fully remaking it in a new engine. Is apparently what it seems like. So
Cool. Cool. That's
Probably like
that's neat.
putting stuff that they've learned from their recent games back into it.
yeah. So that's kind of cool.
Good.
One brother can shoot the other brother at the end. It's wild.
Yeah.
Damn, that's kind of what happens at the end of their other game. So there it is.
Way out.
Inscription's creator Daniel Mullins announces Pony Island 2, Panda Circus 2. It
This
features.
trailer was sick.
So we need to play Pony Island 1.
We do.
I know Ted
So-
always talked about it. We need to play it.
Yeah.
Pony
because
Island's really cool.
That
Conceptually,
trailer was awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for this.
Pony Island's whole thing is like it's you're playing a game, an arcade game in the game, and then
Okay.
you zoom out. It's the devil's arcade game. Like,
Spoilers.
but like you zoom out, you can see your player playing. Point is, this is going to be a wild game.
I'm in.
Just like Inscription, because Inscription was absolutely wild. I saw
Was
someone playing it
also
for the
a
first
game
time
within a
recently.
game.
Oh, that game is too good.
I am jealous. That's like if someone was like, "What's one game you could go back and like erase your memory for?" Inscription might be it. Of like
Me too.
me texting you being like, "How fucking scary is this game, James? Like, when is this gonna get really scary?" Like, Jake, just keep playing it. Don't worry about it. Like, just keep playing.
Yeah. I was so when I bought that game for like I swear like 10 people like just like
Yeah.
play this game. You need to play this game. It was
That was my only true play it forward moment of like James bought it for me, and then I was so psyched. I just bought it for like 3 other people. I was like, you guys need to try
I
this.
cursed people with Inscription. It's like in the game when you like he finds like the floppy disk and puts it in his PC. I did that with people. I just
James
passed
willed it to
around
be
the
game
disc.
of the year for many people. It was very impressive. So I'm very excited for that. I'm very excited to try all those other games. Color Gray announced The Rise of the Golden Idol. So it's a follow-up to The Case of the Golden Idol, which is a game that came out on PC last year. It's very good. What I thought was interesting, though, about this is that it was announced that it was also coming to Netflix games in inclusion with Xbox, PlayStation. So that was announced a few times throughout the show was Netflix games. It's kind of becoming more of a thing.
Netflix is pushing hard to make their subscriptions include games, and
I'm here for
Resident Evil 8 is coming to iPad. So
Isn't that wild?
yeah, so we're here, and Netflix is trying to pioneer games for your phone.
Yep. Yeah, very interesting. Inscription. You have a booster pack of Inscription cards?
Yeah.
Sick. Where'd you get that?
I
Don't
forgot to
open
like
that. That's
talk about
cursed.
that. This came out like recently. Like you could buy a booster. I had to like was on a wait list for like a year. And yeah, it's an Inscription booster pack. I haven't opened it.
Don't open
But yeah,
it.
they it's like $10 something like that. Devolver Digital was selling these physical cards.
That's so
I'm
sick.
gonna keep this forever. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I want to.
awesome.
I'm gonna go try to buy
What's
these.
funny
now.
is these are the same packs that they opened like in the video in the game.
I know, I
Like,
was gonna
he's
say,
opening
that
packs.
means we can
in the
watch
description. He's like, oh, we got a
unboxing videos.
description. Yeah, the unboxing videos.
Damn.
Watch
Okay.
unboxing videos of a fake card game.
Yeah, he's like, oh, he's like, there's coordinates on here. Oh, this is close by. Like, I just happen to know that these coordinates are close by to go there
That's
and
so
dig.
funny. That's a great God. Go play Inscription, guys. Everybody play Inscription.
Go and get ready for Pony Island.
Apparently, we're all gonna be huge fans. Usual Jane is the next game from Finji, which is the studio behind Night in Woods and Tunic. Tunic was a really great game from
Tunic was
last year,
good.
so looks kind of cool.
A Night in the Woods and Tunic developer were the same person?
Just learned
People?
that when I was
That's
putting this
incredible.
doc together. I was like,
Me
did
too.
not know they
Yeah.
developed the same game.
I love Tunic.
Dude,
that'll
Tunic was
that'll
so
be a
good.
special place in my heart.
I agree. I had a wonderful time playing Tunic. Harmonium the Musical. There's a musical adventure game by The Old Gentleman, but it's made to be accessible for the deaf. And this game is always fully subtitled, and everybody speaks with sign language throughout the game, along with singing. The game is coming to Game Pass and Netflix. I just thought that was very cool.
Awesome.
Cool.
Spider-Man 2 did some sign language stuff. I thought that was really cool, so I'm glad to see that we're doing more things with sign
So
language.
did DK Metcalf.
DK Metcalf did a lot of things, James. Recently, he went crazy in a football game. So, Yep, it is what it is. Windblown is the latest from Motion Twin, which is the creator of Dead Cells. And it's coming to Early Access 2024. Looks like it could be co-op. Looks very cool. I'm into this. I mean, they made Dead Cells, so I'm in.
Yeah.
Dead Cells is fantastic. Dredge and Dave the Diver. They're doing a fusion mode where creatures from the horror fishing game are coming to Dave the Diver, which I thought was pretty cool.
I love that.
So the
That's
two-
awesome.
Indie darlings, even though Dave the Diver
The two boat games.
It's not an indie game.
Besides, it's nominated for Best Independent Game, though.
We have some things to discuss.
We
This was probably one of my most intriguing things of the show was Exodus, which is a new sci-fi RPG from Archetype Entertainment, which is a new studio made of former BioWare developers. It looks like Mass Effect. And if it's old Mass Effect developers, I'm in. It had a very cinematic-y trailer that was a lot of Mass Effect with time. I think this is the game where if you leave and you're dealing with time dilations, you'll come back to your home planet and like things will have aged depending on how long you took to take the mission. So there seems to be like an interesting mechanic there, but also it could be kind of lame.
Christopher
a good
Nolan's
fitting
Exodus.
title.
Yep. Exodus. Yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool. God of War Ragnarok Valhalla. Sony announced a free downloadable content to God of War Ragnarok, which is a free roguelike, which I've actually been playing. So I can give you a brief. It's fine. It's a roguelike. The combat's awesome to God of War, so that's really cool. And it is like moving the story forward a little bit, which is kind of interesting. Like what's Kratos doing after the events of Ragnarok?
Playing a roguelike.
But you're playing kind of a roguelike, and it's just like playing this. I'm like, I should just go play Hades. Like it's just such a better game than this. So.
Yeah.
I'm really curious. Roguelikes seem to be a really big thing Sony's doing now. The Last of Us Part 2 remake is...
I was going to
has
say
roguelike.
adding putting a
Yeah.
roguelike add-on into their game.
So this is
Which
now two
it's
games.
fine. Like, yeah, it's just remix. It's almost like challenge levels. Just keep remixing single player content. It makes sense.
Yeah. And I had to
The
say,
part
like...
2 one, though, it looks interesting. Though.
Yeah, it looks interesting. The characters that do different things. And the way that the God of War thing works, like you're adding like runes to your weapons. And, like that's the stuff you're picking up, or like different spec abilities. So, like it was kind of cool. Like while I was playing it today, I had just like a whole build that was all about throwing the axe, which that's not a thing that I did a lot in the game. Like, but my whole build was like just chuck the axe at people. It's like that was kind of cool. It makes you play like that fun combat in a different way.
Totally,
So,
yeah.
yeah, it's already out, which is always cool. Love those announcements.
And free.
And
which is
free.
Also
Yep,
cool.
totally free. Big Walk is a cooperative multiplayer game about teamwork and talking where players will band together to solve puzzles and make new discoveries. It's being developed by House, who previously developed Untitled Goose Game. So, their next game.
Ooh.
Nice.
So-
Another Goose game.
Yeah. I like that they're kind of getting the bigger indie developers now on this stage, which is kind of cool.
Me too.
Hellblade 2, Senua Saga trailer. I did not watch this trailer at all because I'm very excited about this game and I don't want to see anything about this game. So it comes out in 2024.
Cool. Did you like the first one?
Yeah, I loved it. If you haven't played it, Ted, really recommend it.
Okay,
It's shockingly good.
Okay.
So wear it with headphones.
Yep.
No Rest for the Wicked is the next game from Moon Studios. They are the creators of Ori. And the action RPG will take a darker tone. It's a like top-down view as well. And it is about a far-off kingdom that follows where a king has recently died, which plunges into chaos. The game will offer single-player and four-player online co-op modes. And there's going to be more to be shared coming up soon, like the next 3 months or something.
Great.
But look cool. So, I mean,
Is that studio owned by Xbox?
no,
Or Microsoft?
it's
no,
not
that's
owned by,
not
which
bad.
I was shocked by. It's coming, I think, to everything. So that was kind of something I was
Okay.
shocked by. Yeah. So I guess Ori just is that IP.
I see.
James, did Dragon Ball Sparking do any Sparking Zero? Excuse me, Dragon Ball
Zero,
Sparking exclamation mark zero written out, not a number. The new Budokai Tenkaichi game. Does this do anything for you? People love these games.
I love Budokai. I wasn't a big fan of Tenkaichi, so maybe.
Okay.
But I do like the Budokai games. Budokai 3 is like my favorite game
Oh,
of all the Dragon Ball Z.
I know you're a big DBZ fighting game
Yeah.
guy, so I was curious about that. I can never get over these titles. They always make me laugh. Sparking exclamation mark zero. It's just ridiculous.
Japan, man, they're great.
Dragon Ball Fighters.
Fighter Z.
Fighter Z. Fighters.
I don't know.
Square Enix is bringing back the storied Mana RPG saga with a new one, Visions of Mana. Does this do anything for anybody? Nope. Next.
Past our time.
But
Yep.
I was not
I
a
would
mana.
agree. None of us are really big like JRPG turn-based.
No, which sucks because I want to play Sea of Stars, but
Yeah, the South Park
you know.
game is really good.
That is true.
Yeah.
I talk about that game a lot with my wife.
Me too. Comes up a lot, you
It
know?
comes up a lot. That game comes up all the time. Stick
Yeah,
of
I
Truth.
was thinking about giving it a replay. I was
Oh,
like,
it's
man.
fantastic.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Did you play the second one, Ted? The Fractured
No,
Butthole?
that's
Great
that's
name.
he couldn't say it with a straight face. That's exactly what I was thinking about. I was thinking about I should check that out.
What's,
Yeah.
what's
I bet-
the new one called?
There's a third one?
Yeah, there's a third one coming out. I'll tell you.
Oh dear.
You guys
All
can
right,
go.
give me a Google.
In today's political climate, it's gonna be wild.
They can never.
Snow Day.
Oh yeah, different game.
Oh, it's not.
Different
It's not.
I don't think
following
it's
that.
the. I don't think it's that RPG style, is it?
I mean, it's the same like kind of like
When's it
they're
come out?
fighting. You know, the wizards. Okay, it's
They're fighting. I don't know.
I don't know. These guys. be
THQ
fighting.
Nordic is making the game.
Okay, so really good faith that it's gonna come out. That's good,
The same
Ubisoft made the other two.
dude. They did, and they.
It's a co-op game. 2024.
All right. Well,
That's
hey,
all-
we
that's
can
all
be
I
playing
got.
a
Believe when I
South Park
see it.
game. I'll believe it when I see it.
Stick of Truth, though, great game.
Stick of Truth, great game, and the Fractured Butthole is the greatest name of all time. Of all time.
I bet that game will only get better the worse the MCU gets. If that makes
Yes,
sense.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And guess
Yeah.
what? The MCU is getting real bad, so I think it's not
Yeah,
another time
yeah.
to replay.
Maybe,
it.
yeah, the
Every time
perfect
to
time to
blow it up.
Yep. Oh, they're going to, James. The MCU is going to end in the next Avengers movie, and they're going to reboot it, and
Yeah.
That's
exactly what's going to happen.
awesome.
It'll never be what it was,
Yeah.
Endgame was too good.
wasn't it? You want to just talk about Endgame?
No, we have announcements. Keep going.
Okay. The long rumored collaboration between longtime developer Hideo Kojima and Xbox was finally revealed in a bizarre trailer, with multiple people reciting the same speech in different ways. Jordan Peele was also revealed to be the writer collaborator on this project. This is called OD, and I will not play this game because it's going to be too scary.
I'm super excited.
Yeah.
Me too.
I have yet to play Death Stranding, but the fact that he made a game about walking from A to B
Yep.
means that he is willing to take risks so many other companies will not.
Oh yeah. Now he's his own company. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for that. And I love Jordan Peele's writing. Fantastic.
It's just gonna be so scary, you know. Like we all played that
Yeah.
PT demo.
Yeah. Right.
Oh.
That's like, we were snubbed of a PT game with Guillermo del Toro. We were
What was that
snubbed for
going?
that.
That was
Now
going
we
to be a
get
new,
Jordan
that was
Peele's
going to be a
scary game.
new Silent Hill.
Silent Hills.
Yeah, new Silent Hill.
Okay.
Silent Hills.
Yeah.
That's what it's
Yeah.
gonna be called, yeah. But it did. Well, yeah. So this was the big announcement. This I feel like was like their grand announcement. So
Cool.
Yep.
Sure.
I'll try it. It's gonna come to Game
Xbox
Pass.
exclusive.
Yeah.
So cool. But also like, I'm scared as shit. I know it's gonna be terrifying. Tales of Kenzura Zao is a Metroid-style action-adventure platformer, which is part of the EA Originals program. So I just thought that was kind of cool. We're getting a new Metroidvania style game from EA Originals. I like
What
to
is?
see.
I'm sorry. What is EA Originals?
EA Originals is like they're like more. It's not indie, but it's like they're more art focused, kind of like Valorant Hearts was kind of an EA
Like,
original.
so it's like a Nindy.
yes, it's like a
Yeah.
indie. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly. That was good. Don't Nod has announced their next narrative adventure, Lost Records, Blood and Rage. So Don't Nod is the people that did Life is Strange. So this is their new studio in Montreal. They're developing a new game. Cool. I believe this is the best announcement of the show. Arcane Leon is doing a Blade game. And that's just awesome. They made Deathloop.
Arcane Leon, yeah, okay, that is the Deathloop developer.
They made Dishonored, and now they're getting Blade. And it looks like it's in Paris, and he is a vampire hunter. That's pretty cool.
I'm very excited to see what they could do with this. Again, on the topic of studios willing to take risks, Deathloop was an awesome concept.
Yes.
Even if it was just smoke and mirrors, conceptually, it was a great idea.
But it wasn't bad smoke and mirrors. That's the best part about Deathloop. Like, it really, the smoke and mirrors weren't egregious.
No, and I thought it just added fun flavor.
Yeah.
Just like put the times and places together and then play the game.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And I'm very excited to see what they would do with a Blade game.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it.
Especially considering there's a Blade movie supposedly coming out. Supposedly. Yeah, we'll see.
We'll
see.
I'm very excited about it. I think that's just like, what a weird... People often on Reddit pages are like, what Marvel game do you want to see? And it's always like Daredevil, Doctor Strange and stuff. Like, I think I would not have imagined a better pairing of like developer and concept than Blade and Arcane Leon. Like, that vampire witchcraft with like the guys that made Dishonored. Like, you're going to go on vampire hunts and have to sneak through places. And it's going to be super sick. I'm very into it. So that was for me very exciting. Mecha Break, it made its debut at the Game Awards as well, and it's a multiplayer mech battle game by Sensu Games. Players will customize their mechs and then take them into battle with 3v3, 6v6, and battle royale modes. I just thought it was kind of interesting. We've not had like a big multiplayer mech game, really, and that this seems like this could be it. So
yeah, well, Hawken came and went.
Yeah.
So mech games have had their time, and in the sun, and not all of them have come out. Yeah,
it's true.
I'm excited for it. I'll kind of believe it when I see it.
Sure.
Yeah, mech game is kind of a double-edged sword. Some of them come out great. Some of them come out and just disappear.
Armored Core 6, The Fires of Rubicon.
Yeah, I own it. I haven't put it in the disc yet.
You own it?
Yeah, I got it for free. We talked about this.
Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Or I got it on like store credit and just have the disc, and Baldur's Gate 3 is just too good.
Yeah.
Way too good.
Another game I'm very excited about is Light No Fire. This is the game from the No Man's Skies creator Hello Games. It was a teaser trailer. It showed, and they said everything was made in-game footage. Let's be honest though, Hello Games has said that in the past, and things have not been true.
And they grilled them on it.
Take this game with a grain of salt, but I'm very excited.
I know.
Did you see the trailer before? Like he showed off the Light No Fire trailer? Oh, the trailer before was great because it showcased off all of No Man's Sky.
Oh, okay.
Like all the updates.
I'm sorry,
and
is the trailer before a different game or?
No. The trailer before is No Man's Sky. Like just like
the
trailer before is No Man's Sky.
It's the prequel to Alan Wake 3.
And then they have the guy talk, and everyone's just like, oh hey, it's the guy who like promised us, like, you know, like they're giving him shit because he's announcing a new game, and they're like, oh really, you're announcing a new game?
That's so funny.
But the trailer before showed off like how many updates they've done for No Man's Sky, and it is absolutely incredible. Every single one is free.
They saved
incredible.
They saved No Man's Sky. That's a great game, worth buying.
They could have just walked away with like somebody, and then that's it.
It's why I'm excited for this.
Yeah.
So Ted, did you see this trailer?
No.
Light No Fire. It is.
I love it.
What looked to be, they called it Earth, which I thought was interesting, but it's a medieval game where you and your friends are in this medieval procedural world that you're like permanently impacting and building upon, and like a Valheim, but it looks like it's like multiplayer, like where there's other people around.
Valheim.
But they talked about how because it's procedural, you will walk up mountains, and they compared it to Skyrim, how like in Skyrim, you know, it would take like 10 minutes to get to the top of that main mountain in Skyrim. These mountains will be like miles high for your character because it's like procedural, so it could just keep building the mountain. So I thought that was really cool. So I'm into
your flying mount though, so you're
flying
no
mount. So right, yeah.
You just telling me this pitch coming from Hello Games, I'm already just like, is it really going to be that good though?
I know.
Will you really see other players in the world?
If it's bad, I'll know it'll be good 10 years from now.
And that's another thing. In 2030, we are going to be loving Light No Fire.
Yeah.
It's going to be our game of the year. It's going to get our No Man's Sky award.
It's going to get the No Man's Sky award.
We need to make that a category.
Oh,
Jeff,
that's so
please.
fucking good.
Jeff.
Give Cyberpunk
please.
the No Man's Sky award.
Stormgate. Do we give a shit about this? It's
Yeah, I'm very excited for Stormgate.
All right, it's a PC strategy.
A bunch
game
of ex StarCraft 2 developers who have since left Blizzard to make their own studio out in Irvine. They are making a free-to-play RTS game. I was going to say
How long has this
StarCraft 2.
game been in development?
A year and a half. Frost Giant has announced that they are making a RTS game in the spirit of StarCraft 2 for about a year and a half, I believe.
Okay.
And their Kickstarter just blew the roof off of its goal. So
they got a Kickstarter, but it's free to play?
they have a Kickstarter, yeah, and that's to finish it off, I guess.
Okay,
It's already got like $1.6 million. And it ultimately will be free to play, but there's all those like excessive tiers.
Another games as a service that's going to die on the vine, kids.
No, I'm excited for this game. I genuinely think this will take over what's left of the RTS scene.
Very cool.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm very. We haven't seen a lot necessarily. A few people have been given access to their alpha, whatever alpha build. But yeah, looking forward to it. If you're interested in RTS games, this is going to be the next big thing.
This is the one for you.
Yep.
James, any thoughts on Stormgate?
I feel like I've seen it before, and that reminded me it did have a nice, successful Kickstarter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I'm gonna wait till it comes out and people play it, but it could just flop. I don't know if we're in the StarCraft era. I think people just want another StarCraft. I don't know if they want a Stormgate.
And I'm sure Xbox, they're going to give it to you. They're going to milk that StarCraft brand for all it's worth, baby. Square Enix announced 2 new story expansions for Final Fantasy 16, Echoes of the Fallen and The Rising Tide. Echoes of the Fallen was out the day of the Game Awards, and then the next one comes out in spring 2024. Thought that was cool.
Wow, that's fast.
Yeah. And I'm gonna be honest, I played a lot of that game. I would not go back to play more story stuff. So
why would you when you got the best Final Fantasy coming out soon?
And that's the problem. We just know that 7 remake. Part 2. What is it called? Revelations? I was trying to figure this out the other day. Well, Rebirth. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
In the last announcement, they're big. They had the best opportunity to announce the Elden Ring DLC. Last year's Game of the Year award was Elden Ring. So here we come. We're gonna announce Monster Hunter Wilds. All right. So,
what's that?
It's a new Monster Hunter game, Ted. You like Monster Hunter?
Well, so is it more like World or is it more like Rise?
It looked a lot like World, but also it was a cinematic trailer where people were just riding on mounts. So who knows?
Yeah, I know.
It looked like open, like very open.
Very open.
I didn't know Monster Hunter needed a new game. I know that World was very like Western centric. Yeah. It was very easy for us to pick up, and then Rise went back to that more Japanese style, which is much more of a grind, much more difficult.
Rise was more grind.
Well, they're gonna make another game like World because it's the best-selling Capcom game of all time.
Yeah. So, okay. Cool. That's cool. That's exciting. I mean, Capcom's on a high right now. So
Capcom did not miss this year.
They have not.
It hasn't missed in a while.
I just don't care about Monster Hunter, and I think that's kind of a weird. That for me, that was a very weird last one more thing. We have the next Monster Hunter. I was like, yeah, okay, everybody knows there's another Monster Hunter, but that's just me. All right. You want to talk about these awards?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Awards?
We did 6 awards. I'm going to go through all the awards.
Okay.
On certain categories, I'm just going to tell you the winner and we're going to move past them because there's a lot of categories.
Perfectly fine.
Okay. The player's voice, which is just the players, us, we voted on a game that was our favorite. It was Baldur's Gate 3. It's going to come up a lot. The best adaptation, which is hilarious that this is an award, was The Last of Us show. The Last of Us TV show.
Oh,
good.
So it's
okay.
Good.
Ted, the nominees were the Gran Turismo movie,
the
Super Mario Bros. Movie, Twisted Metal the show, and Castlevania Nocturne. So,
okay.
Have you seen the Twisted Metal show?
No, but apparently it's not bad.
The first episode is free. You don't need Peacock Plus or whatever.
Just
I watched it. It was not bad. It's definitely going for a quirky comedy vibe, which I appreciated. It is not serious at all.
No, I need a serious Twisted Metal.
Good luck.
With the ice cream clown that chases you around. Oh yeah. Most anticipated game. Ted, I'm gonna read you 5 games. I want you to tell me your most anticipated game. Okay.
Skull and Bones.
It's not on there, unfortunately.
Well, they did announce-
But unfortunately, I did not put that on my announcement trailer. Ted, they did announce that Skull and Bones release date is next year.
Yeah, they've said that before.
Yeah, yeah, they gave a date,
Believe
like
me,
February,
Ted.
right? I think it was like a February or April.
I believe it was February.
I
Yeah.
think it's February. All right, Tekken 8, Star Wars Outlaws, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, Hades 2, and Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth.
Hades 2.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
That's what won.
Yeah.
I can't believe it wasn't Hades 2, but it makes
I
sense.
can't believe it was Hades 2. Yeah.
Star Wars Outlaws shouldn't even be on that list.
That's not even a real game yet. Best
Yeah, it's not even
esports
that.
team was JD Gaming, which I assume stands for John Davis. Best
Why,
esports.
what would you assume that?
Just taking a shot in the dark, Ted.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Jim Davis.
Ted, what was the best esports game of the year? Just give it to me off the top of your head, off the top of your dome.
Oh fuck, dude, I don't know. Apex.
James, what
no.
was it?
Fortnite.
James?
Valorant?
Siege.
It was Valorant. Valorant was the best
okay.
esports game. The best esports God, that's a hard word for me to say. Sorry. Esports event was the 2023 League of Legends World Championship.
What?
The best esports coach, James. Did you know Christine Potter Chai? No.
For who?
Well, she was the best esports coach.
For what? For what team?
It does not say.
I have no idea.
Unfortunately,
What
the
game?
list I
Okay.
made it does not say either, Ted.
Yeah, all right, that's fair.
I'm thinking competitive Elden Ring.
I was gonna say competitive Nintendogs.
Yeah, or just
best
punch out. They still play Punch Out. She's the ring.
They do still
in
play
the-
Punch
in the
Out,
ring, yeah. Best esports athlete. Did James? Do you know Faker?
Okay.
Yes, he won.
He won.
Let's not
Okay,
call them athletes.
he's an old legend. Like he's been around since like 10 years ago.
Oh shit. Okay.
Dude,
So he's like 26 now. Is that
They
kinda
were
what he's at?
like I don't know how old he is now, but they were
Savage.
like, oh, he doesn't have it anymore. I think he like served in the South Korean military and came back and still is owed.
Damn.
Because
He's like
that's the
Elvis.
problem. That's what happens to a lot of the Korean pros is they have to go serve military and then they come back and they're like washed up.
Yeah.
Oh,
Most of
wow.
the time they're not.
That's
but-
so funny.
It's
Do you
like
think
it's
they're
been so
all the
long.
StarCraft 2 players are like Ender's Game, where they're just
Yeah.
controlling spaceships?
Mhm.
That's what always happened. All the StarCraft 2 pros, they would go to the military and then they would come
Yeah,
back
just
and
go to the
there's like
Navy, pilot some ships with their hands, and then come back. They're
They're
APMs
floating in a
off the chart.
room. Yeah.
Yeah.
a lot of the Tekken pros, like they would just get really buff and they'd come back and be even better at Tekken.
Damn. Do you think like after like a long match they like dunk their hands in ice? Like a sports athlete would like put his whole body in ice. They just have their like fingers in there.
Some people have hand warmers. Some
I was gonna say, I bet they do.
Damn.
yeah.
Content creator of the year. Iron Mouse. Does that mean anything to anyone?
Yeah, she's I mean she's a VTuber and has a disease where she can't go outside.
Oh.
But she trained in opera. Like she's pretty good. Like she's funny. She can't go outside. Yeah, but she's a really for what she
VTuber.
does, she's pretty good.
What's a VTuber? I don't know what that is.
That
Just,
means that an animated character takes the place of the webcam.
So like you have like a camera and it's
Oh.
just an animated, like animated avatar, like definitely very anime. And she just speaks to it and it speaks when she speaks and that's it. There's no webcam, there's no nothing, and it's very popular in Japan. People love them.
Well,
People love the 2D art.
So do the Game Awards, James.
Yeah,
apparently.
Okay.
she's funny though.
Best multiplayer game. I might start reading a few of these, what they beat, but I just want to say best multiplayer game was Baldur's Gate 3, which I thought was very cool. It beat Diablo 4 and Street Fighter 6. Call of Duty was not nominated. Best sim and strategy game was Pikmin 4, which I thought was kind of dope.
Baldur's Gate 3.
Also, I was kind of surprised that that's not a sim and strategy game as well. Baldur's Gate 3. Kind of
I'm
strategy.
a little confused that why is Baldur's Gate in the multiplayer category?
Well, because it does have online multiplayer. It has multiplayer. I would say.
Oh,
if you-
okay.
the
So when they say
experience-
multiplayer, they
Yeah.
mean anything.
So
Like
for-
Kirby, it could technically be on there.
Sure, but that Kirby
For-
multiplayer sucks ass. So then that's the problem. Why wouldn't be
That's
nominated
why
for
it's
an
not on
award?
there.
But like Baldur's Gate
Well,
3.
it's not like
nice
competitive
try.
multiplayer.
No, like Super Mario Bros. Wonder has best multiplayer nomination.
Okay.
Sorry,
All
I'm
right.
like I'm
Yeah,
burping.
there's multiplayer.
Okay, so we can throw this category out the window.
Yeah,
Next,
for sure,
next
sure.
category.
Ted, you can do that for a lot of these categories.
Yeah.
Pikmin 4 won sim and strategy. Sports and racing game. Guess what? Forza came out and it won another award. Pew, pew.
Didn't Gran Turismo come out this year?
No, came out last year.
Okay. So there was no competition for it.
No, the Cruise Motorfest, Hot Wheels 2 Unleashed Turbocharged, F123, and EA Sports FC24. So
Yeah, Mario Kart should have released something this year. They could have easily.
I'm
won.
sorry. Okay,
James-
what was the category?
that was sports and racing. That was what competed against
sports and
Forza.
racing.
That
I
was,
got you.
yeah, that was
Okay.
James, there hasn't been a new Mario Kart in like 10 plus years.
Incredible,
Which is
right?
crazy.
That they just recycled the same game.
Well, it sounds like whatever Switch 2 is that's coming out next year, 2025, is going to launch with Mario Kart X or whatever.
Yeah.
Best family game was Super Mario Bros. Wonder. People like this game. It's a Mario game. Any thoughts?
Nope.
No. Okay. Best fighting game was Street Fighter 6.
Good.
What was it up against? Mortal Kombat 1?
Mortal Kombat
Yeah.
1, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2. Didn't know there was a 1.
Yeah.
Pocket Bravery and God of Rock.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's all that needs to be said there.
I thought a Tekken game came out this year, but apparently it comes out
Nope.
next year.
I think.
Yeah,
I guess.
it
I
hasn't
thought
come
it did too.
Yeah.
I guess it got
The
pushed.
beta
Yeah.
was played, and I actually got an
Oh.
invite to the beta, and it's really good. So
Okay.
we'll see what they
Cool.
continue on next year.
Cool.
It's, I
Yeah,
can't wait
and
to watch it.
none of us played Street Fighter 6, but all credit to them. I hear they made a fantastic game.
Yeah, so I've heard it's great.
Yes.
A lot of people really like it.
I'm surprised you didn't play that
job.
this year, Did.
I don't really have anyone to
Job,
play
Capcom.
it with, so and I don't want to play a fighting game alone.
No, that
so
makes
I
a
kind
lot
of
of
just
sense.
passed on it.
You can play
Yeah.
with Eric.
Eric doesn't want
Eric plays Cammy in Street Fighter 5
Yep.
and won't play anything else.
Yep.
That sounds
At
like
all.
Eric. Yeah.
Anything.
Well, he's got his dragon circles he's got to do, and if he doesn't do those, he's going to be pissed.
Yeah, exactly.
Best RPG. The nominees were Starfield, Sea of Stars, Lies of P, Final Fantasy 16, and Baldur's Gate 3. The reason I want to read these aloud, this is the only award that Starfield was nominated for.
Okay.
So this is the first time ever that a Bethesda game, Game Studios game has come out and not been nominated for Game of the Year at either the Spike Video Game Awards or this. So just kind of interesting. It was Baldur's Gate 3. Thought that was kind of
Yeah, makes sense.
obvious. Best Action Adventure Game, Alan Wake 2, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Tears of the Kingdom won. This is the only award Tears of the Kingdom would win. Broke my
This
heart.
won something.
I know. Thank God.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if something else beat it? It'd be terrible. Best
Alan
Action.
Wake 2.
Dude, we're going to get there, James. Don't worry. We're going to get there. Best Action Game, Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon was the winner. Honestly, the other nominees were not very impressive. So,
Yeah.
any of us play Hi-Fi Rush? I played like an
Yeah.
hour
Yeah,
of
a
that.
little bit.
Yeah. What'd you think?
It's good.
Yeah.
It's very. I mean, it was for what it was. It was just like when you heard the story of how it came to be.
Very cool.
You wanted to play it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I
they won
played it.
awards.
I really liked it. I'm not big on games where you need to press buttons to a beat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just
I love
not. I'm not metrically inclined like that. But it was really fun. It felt like I was playing a Saturday morning cartoon, and that was awesome.
Yeah. Art style, super sick. Innovation and accessibility, that was Forza Motorsport. That one.
Yeah, sure.
Best VR and AR game, Resident Evil Village VR won, which cool.
Can you imagine playing that
No,
game
not a
first person?
chance in fucking hell. Could you imagine, James?
That's what I was like. I was like, oh my god, that game must be insanely scary.
I don't think you could pay me to play that. I just don't think it could happen. I'd have panic attack on panic attack. While playing Alan Wake, multiple times I would have to Google just like the moment that I was in, being like, does anything pop out here? Because
Is there a jump scare? Yeah.
because there's really not many jump scares in that game, but there's a few.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, they're just like boom, they just get you.
yeah,
right
they just
there.
get you. And I'm like, all right. Best community support, which was Baldur's Gate 3, which I thought was very cool. So that's
That is cool.
Also cool because they had to
And they also
scrap
have
together an
great
Xbox
community
version.
which came
Hey,
out. Which
they
came out.
released it.
They released it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
That's
came
the
out the
one.
day of the Game
Good
Awards.
for them. I bought it on Steam.
Good, as you should have.
Yes.
As you should
Yeah.
have, Ted. Best mobile game was Honkai Star Rail, which I have no idea what that is.
That's
So
a
another
great name.
gotcha game.
gotcha
You
game.
pay money and you enter
Yeah.
and you hit the little slot roller and you get the
Ah.
slot machines. You get the 3 sevens and you get the jackpot.
Sweet.
All right, next game.
Love
What was it called?
Honkai Star
Honkai
Rail.
Star Rail.
Great name.
Great name. Best debut indie game. This was Cocoon, which I've heard is very good. It is
Yeah.
on Xbox Game
Yeah.
Pass.
I watched my roommates and I played and beat Cocoon in about 1.5, 2 sittings.
Oh,
Great little game.
Okay.
Very fun.
Okay, very cool.
Highly recommend on Game Pass. I think it's like $30 if you don't have Game Pass,
which is
which seems a little steep. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
We beat it in about 4.5 hours.
oh
But if it's still on Game Pass when you watch this video, go play it. It's a great little puzzle game.
yeah.
And don't be deterred by the puzzleness of it. It will guide you through the entirety of the game. It's a really cool experience.
Wonderful. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a download on my Xbox. It's like one of the last games I want to play before the end of the year.
It, Jake, you will probably beat it in one sitting, and it'll be a fun little ride.
Oh, cool. All right, I'm in. I'll beat it before I come see you guys. Best indie. This I want to read these because they're kind of interesting. Cocoon, Dave the Diver, Dredge, Sea of Stars, and Viewfinder. The main reason is Dave the Diver is not an indie game, and Baldur's Gate 3 is an independent game, and that to me is just super weird about these awards. This is best small game.
Yeah.
So for me, that just bugs
small.
me.
Small is is that just small in budget?
Well, small and it's not a AAA $70 game. That's what this award is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just weird. This is weird to me.
I know.
Because Dave the Diver is not, man. It's excellent.
We the community, the Game Awards, we all need to have a conversation about what indie means, because this is Nexon being in the indie game category. Yeah. A multi-million-dollar Korean game company is stupid.
Crazy. And the biggest best indie game of the year is not in this category.
Yeah.
That to me is like crazy. Put Baldur's Gate 3 in here. It's an independent game.
It's an independent game.
It's an independent game. That should be your category. If that's what it fits, it fits. Anyway, Sea of Stars won this. Very cool. The art is awesome. Like we said, we're just not our type of game, but I do want to check it out. Best ongoing game. Your boy called it. Cyberpunk 2077. Which I thought was very cool.
We all called it.
Oh, we did? You guys all piggybacked on me? Fuck. I was like, that's how I'm going to win this one.
Yeah, we all said that.
All right, well, glad I could help you out. Games for Impact. I'm going to butcher this name. Chia, I think is how you say it. It's that open world game that came out earlier this year where you like influence what was happening around you. This like young girl on this island. I think there was a boat involved. You know, it's that game, James.
What's this, Chia?
Yeah, TCHIA.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Chia.
I know. That's what I was thinking too. Remember when they made like our President Obama had a chia pet? I was just thinking about that. That was wild to me. He did. You'd be like watching like something on like Nickelodeon, and then you're like a Drake and Josh cut off. Yeah. Boom. Probably not Drake and Josh, but you know what I'm saying. Best performance. We had Ben Starr in Final Fantasy 16, Cameron Monaghan in Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Idris Elba in Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty, Melanie Laborde for Alan Wake 2, Neil Newborn for Baldur's Gate 3, he was Asterion, and Yuri Lowenthal for Marvel Spider-Man 2. Neil Newborn won, so Baldur's Gate 3, he wins yet again for Asterion.
None of us got that.
Nope.
Yeah,
you know what I think is...
I don't even know who that is.
Really? Well, you want to know why? Because James has killed Asterion. He just lives in his pocket. And that's my favorite thing is that like you can go through the entire game without ever hearing his voice, which is very cool.
Great. Well, we did hear it, and then we killed him.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, he was like, hello. Yeah. Gah! Dead.
Hello, good sure.
Best audio design was Hi-Fi Rush.
Sure.
Yep.
It's kind of a music game. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that's what I kind of figured. Best score and music was Final Fantasy 16. Which is, I think makes a lot of sense. The score is just kind of constant throughout that game and like kind of adapts to what you're doing. So it makes a lot of sense. All right. We're in the last like 5 awards. I think these are the big awards. Best art direction. I'm going to read through all of them. Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Lies of P, Hi-Fi Rush, and Alan Wake 2. Alan Wake 2 did win best art direction. Best narrative was Marvel Spider-Man 2, Final Fantasy 16, Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty, Baldur's Gate 3, and Alan Wake 2. Alan Wake 2 won best narrative.
The whole game is great narration.
I know. Dude. I want to read through the last 2 and then we're going to talk about like kind of all of this cuz I think it's really cool. Best game direction was Legend of Zelda's Tears of the Kingdom, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Baldur's Gate 3, and Alan Wake 2. Alan Wake 2 won again in best game direction. And then you have game of the year. Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Resident Evil 4 Remake, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Baldur's Gate 3, and Alan Wake 2. Baldur's Gate 3 won Game of the Year, rightfully so. That was your game awards. The last few, I think, are particularly interesting. What was your gut reaction, James? Ted?
Yeah, I was surprised that Alan Wake 2 picked up so many awards, but then they had a performance mid show, and it was incredible, and you hear the voice actors, and then you saw, the Alan Wake... actual Alan Wake actor. Yeah. It was pretty great. I think I sent you a
is it Sam Lake?
Jake.
Sam Lake is also in it. He's a character model as well, but not of Alan Wake.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
He plays Sean Casey. Yeah.
Okay.
But I sent you the text of like Jason Schreier saying like Alan Wake was on his flight. I thought that was hilarious.
I thought that was
Like,
yeah. One of the old gods of
like, oh,
Asgard
God.
was on his flight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I beat Alan Wake 2 the other day. I texted you guys and I just said, Alan Wake 2, wow. Ted said, are you now a Remedy head? I think I am, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm like surprised how good Alan Wake 2 is, and I did not beat it before these awards while James and I were watching it. Now beating it, 100% deserves all of these. The way that it like incorporates live action video and like you're watching like a show and playing it, and like the guy that voices Alan Wake is not the guy that plays Alan Wake in the videos, but it looks really good and it syncs up really well.
Yeah.
And like,
show game.
yeah,
That's what it is.
It's fascinating, man. It's so good. And like I'm like, James, like, please finish it before we do our Game of the Year talks. Like, or play like a lot more of it or something. Because man, is it so good, and I can't wait to talk more about it. And I think it really deserves, especially these three, like art direction, narrative, and game direction. Like, I've never seen a game put stuff together the way it does. How it uses like its mechanics late in the game, just fascinating. Ted, what did you feel about these awards?
So I will lead out the listings for anybody who actually listened to the end of last episode.
Mm-hmm.
Jake, you won. James and I both received 2 out of our predictions for Cyberpunk and Baldur's Gate. Jake, you did the same as well. You just got 1 extra point for picking Alan Wake 2 for best art direction.
Yes, I knew. Yeah.
It's interesting. Alan Wake 2 and it's the awards it's won falls right in line with it being like a cinema movie. You know what I mean? Like a movie that nobody watches, but it wins all the Oscars, and everyone's like, "Oh, Moonlight! What a film!"
This is Moonlight.
This is the film of video games.
Yeah.
Which I think is interesting, and I've played Control, so I have to say, whatever awards Remedy wins, they deserve. They're doing really interesting stuff, and I really appreciate what they do. I just think it's wild to me that a game that barely came out just kind of swept the show in some certain ways in kind of some of the major categories.
Yeah, I think if you think those are like the final 5 categories or whatever, like the major ones,
yeah,
it takes out of nowhere.
Yeah, looking at the list of the final awards set in stone, Jake, how do you feel that Tears of the Kingdom got barely anything? Just forgotten by the time Game Awards come around.
I think like if Tears of the Kingdom came out in October, it wins 2 more awards.
Yeah.
But because of Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom's never going to win Game of the Year. Like here. Yeah. Because of Baldur's Gate, Because
they struck lightning again, but at the end of the day, it's still lightning.
Yeah, like if you get it, you get why Tears of the Kingdom's so good. If you don't, you're like, well, they just made another Breath of the Wild. And it's like, yeah, but they did it better. It's like, if you thought this was the best game, they did it again. And like, I think like people would just be like, well, they just did it again. It's like, yeah, but that's impressive. Because think of how many times people make something and it absolutely fumbles what it's doing. And Tears of the Kingdom never fumbles. So I think like that for me is what it's about.
I am of that crowd of people where I kind of just go, they kind of just made Breath of the Wild again. It's not hitting for me in the same way, but I am still surprised that Tears of the Kingdom did not win more.
I'm shocked it didn't win like score or just something like that. Like just like another little award. But it's also a game like I feel like I'm going to be when we have our conversation at the end of the year, like Game of the Year stuff. Like my Game of the Year is Tears of the Kingdom. One of my games of my life is Tears of the Kingdom. But like I'm going to understand when we choose something else. Like it makes sense. It is what it is. But yeah, that's how I feel about Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate 3, won Game of the Year. I think that was pretty obvious that this was coming. Like it didn't feel like
most
shocking.
telegraphed game of the year, I think,
in a long time.
In a while.
Yeah, I think so too. I think like the game direction, narrative stuff, that to me was surprising that Baldur's Gate 3 didn't win one of those. So,
well, this goes back to what I spoke to last week. My issue with the Game Awards is that a whole bunch of press people are humming and hawing come voting season, and they go, well, I just haven't given, Cyberpunk anything yet, so I'm going to put it here. I'm going to put this there because I want all of these games to get their equal recognition, which comes out to what I will call middling results at times.
Well, I think that's what happened with Alan Wake.
It's how It Take-Two won the whole thing. Because
Yeah.
everyone was scared of their number 1 and their number 3 option, so they all put their number 2 option as Game of the Year.
Yeah. And then Joseph Ferris was like, fuck the Oscars. You're like, yeah, we remember you. I think that's what happened with Alan Wake 2 though. Here is like that you had a bunch of people be like, well, it's really got really good art. It's got a great narrative. It's got good game direction, and like we'll just all vote for it here.
Yeah, I follow your same sentiment, but in reverse. Of if Alan Wake came out in February, it wouldn't have won half the awards it won.
Totally.
I think Remedy in this situation, I think we are starting to see games play the field in a certain way.
Movies do this too, though.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. Like your art house cinema video games are going to start coming out at the beginning of November, and that might be just the time to play them for sure.
Yeah, I think that's very true.
Yeah.
We have a few minutes, Ted. Like 5 minutes. You wanted to talk about the Game Awards kind of as a whole and how you feel about them, and I kind of do too. And I'm curious if James does.
So I just spilled half my beans by saying that of just like, the Game Awards is a lot of wanting to give multiple games their due, and so you kind of end up with this strange compromise of winners.
Yeah.
I think looking at the Game Awards just at Game of the Year it doesn't do video games justice. And I really hope they emphasize and introduce more categories of like, best strategy game, right? Or like, kind of like this idea of like best action game, where it's like, okay, Game of the Year is a thing, but like if you are looking for a specific style of video game, this is the category you should look at. And so that's why I was really excited to hear all of the different categories splayed out, because it is more than just Game of the Year and best game direction. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And maybe we can dump some of the esports stuff.
I think we kind of should, but that's my opinion.
Yeah. It's a different generation following for that kind of stuff.
Well, yeah, and like I know, like James, you like a little bit of esports, and like kind of do those categories do anything for you seeing those people's names on it, or like?
Not really. I think it doesn't really have a place here, but it's nice that there is an award for it at the Game Awards. Like it'd be cool.
Fair,
cool, I would this. Like when you think about prestigious Game Awards, there's not too many, and this is the Game Awards. This is the Oscars for the game industry. Yeah. So you got to include as much as you can in terms of, even if they're not like seen as
big. And I will say with this year listing off Game of the overall, I'm surprised Resident Evil didn't win anything more.
I don't think it won anything.
Me too. I wish it won some best
something
game or something. Yeah,
I think they did. I think they did a great job. I'm surprised there isn't like a best remake.
I think there should be that category.
And maybe that's kind of my larger point of like, you talk about like best multiplayer. Baldur's Gate wins for its co-op. Best ongoing game doesn't include Resident Evil 4 because that's a brand new game. So these are the kind of things that I want the Game Awards to flush out, so we can get more succinct categories of like this. If you want to play a multiplayer video game, this is the category to look to.
Yeah. I think like the award shows in general need to like figure out what they're trying to do. Yeah. And like for me, like there's a really awkward moment of all these shows now where like Jeff Keighley will just stand up there and read 4 awards, and he'll just be like, all right, and we're going to read like racing game, fighting game,
here's who won this,
sim strategy, and this. And then he just goes, all right, these are the winners. And you're like, and like nobody gets to talk. Okay. The guy that didn't make Pikmin 4 doesn't get to come up and talk about how he just won sim strategy. So it's like, so lessen the categories. And if your show is about announcing stuff and then having like 8 categories, make that your show. Don't make your show 25 categories, show 10 of them, and then announce 45 games and let Kojima talk about stuff for 10 minutes. And the Monster Hunter Wilds guy came up and he was like, we're making another Monster Hunter game. And he said that for 3 or 4 minutes. And it's like, that could be an award that you didn't, like, I don't know.
Yeah. And just gets into like the Game Awards is paid by the people making those announcements. Yeah. The Game Awards is about those announcements before it's about the awards. Unfortunately, they pay the bills so that we can listen to best ongoing game. That's kind of how it is. But I totally agree of like, let the guy who made Pikmin 4 give that guy time in the sun.
Yeah. Because there's like a bunch of other Oscars that like we don't hear about that are like not a part of the main show that are announced like separately. And you could do that with this if you like just have like like someone come out and read those awards, but don't have them be part of the show like the way it is. It's just super awkward.
Yeah, and I feel that there are so many video games. Video games are so broad. More credit should be given to kind of the small guy or maybe the less mainstream or the more interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know how the Game Awards fixes that problem because, like you said, they have a strict time constraint. we have to dedicate 60% of the show to announcing some new crap that might come out.
Such underwhelming crap too.
But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Overall, I think the Game Awards definitely needs to improve, but I'm mostly happy with the winners. I don't know. How do you two feel about the winners?
So the way I would just wrap it up. Like
Wrap it up, James.
the show went on for so long.
So long.
So it's like I feel like you just need like 2 shows at this point. You just need like a mini like winter game award, like a winter game show, like the Summer Game Fest, winter game fest, and then you do the Game Awards. And then like have it all in like I don't know. Like
color me crazy. Would it be weird if they had like a AAA Game Awards and a small game awards? We won't call them indies, but like a small game awards, like we separate the two. How do you guys feel about that? Like,
I mean, there's multiple game awards, and of course every single like publisher has their game that they like. Oh, this is my number 1 game. I think keeping everything in one is fine. It's just the show is too long. It's too all over the place. It needs some better direction. We need to hear from the developers. We need to get them more involved. We need to like sprinkle in a lot of these ads. Like I don't know why we had a Starfield ad in there.
Because Xbox, Microsoft
paid for it. Yeah.
Paid for it. Yeah.
Plain and
simple.
It's just I think we need to center it back and
it needs to find
not
its
make it
center
longer.
again. That's a great way
Not
to put
make it longer.
It's too long. It should not
Way
be
too
longer
long.
than a football game. It shouldn't be longer than a football game, and it was longer than Thursday.
I was
Night
like,
Football.
Jake, it's still going on. You can come home and watch it.
I know, yeah. That's just crazy to me. So,
Yeah.
well, thank you so much for watching the 154th episode of the Sidescape Gaming Podcast. My name is Jake. That's James. That's Ted. And we will see you next week. And then in like 2 weeks, we might be in person. Like 3 weeks.
We're gonna try and make it work.
We're gonna make it work.
3 weeks.
I'm gonna touch Ted so much during the podcast, it's gonna make him uncomfortable.
2 weeks.
You ready,
With
Ted?
drinks.
I'm excited.